Testing, testing. Yeah, there you go. Thank you.
Whenever you're ready.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Can we have everybody seated and settled in? Right. I would like to first start with trying to get our male supporters in the room to understand how our minds work as women by asking this question. How many women in leadership do you think it takes to change a light bulb? How many women do you think it takes to change a light bulb? Can anybody tell me? Yes, only one. This is what she's going to do. She's going to form a committee. She's going to draft a strategy. She's going to consider everybody else's input. And then after that, make sure that it aligns with the vision. So that's how we operate as women. So, watintum fazi? No. No. It's not right. It needs some power, some oomph. Watintum fazi? Exactly. That's better, much better. All right. My name is Tibelom Simanga, and I am the program leader for the postgraduate diploma in management at the NWU Business School. Currently, I am holding a master's in economics, which I attained at the Northwest University. I understand all too well the importance of leadership as a woman in every different spheres because I was fortunate enough to hold a couple of those leadership positions. Hence, I'm here. Now, I will not be doing the business school any justice if I don't mention this. Please consider studying our postgraduate diploma in management after you are done, and then carry on to our MBA, and then go a little bit further and do the PhD with us. Just keep that in mind, okay? It's important. Now, there is no limit to what we as women can accomplish. These were the words by Michelle Obama. The NWU Business School understands leadership development is key to broadening the horizon of all women, giving them the tools to lead in any sphere. Now, some housekeeping rules. For starters, it goes without saying, your cell phones, please be on silent. We all know that we are women, so I can't ask you to switch it off because we have responsibilities, you know what I'm saying. For bathrooms, out this door, down the corridor, it's going to be on your right-hand side. If any of you wants to stay connected, the Wi-Fi name is roots_guest, and the password is teamwork1, the number 1. The T has to be capital letter. Teamwork, letter number one. Okay, I hope you all got that. Now, let's observe protocol. Very important. In our midst, we have our Chief Director from the NWU Business School. His name is Professor Joseph Sekhampu. You will be hearing from him very, very soon. And of course, the manager for the executive education, Mr. Morney van der Berg, also from the NWU Business School. Then the program leader for this Women in Leadership SOP, Prof. Leon Jackson. We have the CEO from LG CETA, Mr. Ineleng Molete. Representatives from the South African Municipal Workers Union, representatives from the Independent Municipal and Allied Trade Union, all other staff members present from the NWU Business School, and finally, the reason why we are here, the participants who are obviously representing their respective municipalities. Now, without any further ado, I would like to call upon our Chief Director. Prof. Joseph is the Chief Director of the Northwest University Business School, where he provides academic leadership and strategic direction to ensure the school's overall success and growth. Before joining the NWU Business School, he served as a COO and executive head at Mill Park Education. He oversaw the company's strategies operationalization and managed the business's operational units there. Previously, he was the Dean of the School of Commerce at the same institution, where he provided academic leadership and managed all programs offered by the school, focusing on quality assurance, planning, and execution of deliverables. His earlier career in the banking sector included various roles such as team leader of customer consultants, trainee branch manager, CRM manager, and product analyst, providing a comprehensive experience in banking operations and management. He holds a PhD in economics, so this economics thing it just runs in this family, and has conducted extensive research on poverty and socioeconomic issues. In addition, his academic and administrative roles, he writes about leadership, drawing on extensive experience in African communal cultural influence. His leadership philosophy emphasizes collective responsibility and the pursuit of the common good. He is committed to academic excellence, research, and transforming lives and communities through the power of education. It is often said that great institutions stand not only on their achievements, but on the vision for the future. To share more about the NWU's Business School's role in empowering future leaders, help me welcome Professor Joseph Sekhampu to the stage. No? I think it's...
from one of the leading business schools in the world. And with local government elections on the horizon, the stake couldn't be higher. Our communities will look at you expecting and needing leadership that actually delivers change. And someone said, some of the challenges we're facing as a country are like cleaning Malamohodu at the ceremony. Messy and chaotic. Just when you think load shedding is under control, you find someone commenting that the president shouldn't say, Russia is our friend. You might even be worried about water shedding. And if you are in a councillor, some of the people that are online might be in local government as councillors, as soon as you think a pothole is fixed, someone says, come to my street and you'll see. So it's like a never-ending game of skipping rope. But no one wants you that you'll be skipping for everyone. And if you are in some government departments, you always have to master the art of saying, we are offline. But here's the thing, I believe that women are truly equipped to manage this chaos. Who else can juggle work, home, kids, the in-laws while still looking fabulous? And you solve problems with the most ease, and before us as men can think that there's a problem. And frankly, this country, if it needs anything, it needs more women in leadership. And there's a saying, I think Tibelo talked about the light bulb, but I know of one saying that says, if you want something done, ask a busy woman. But I also say, if you want something done right, ask a woman in the local government sector. You have seen it all, handled it all, and now this program will add to your skill set. But on a serious note, the power of women in leadership cannot be understated. A lot of studies show that organizations with more women in leadership don't just perform better, they actually thrive. And it's because when things get tough, it is the women in teams who often say, okay, hang around, I've got this covered. But it's more than that. Women in leadership challenge us to think differently. You make us uncomfortable in the best possible ways. You challenge the norms and you give solutions that are unexpected. And if I'm honest, I think the males in your offices might need to watch out when you finish this program, because you will have a certificate from one of the best business schools in the world. At NW Business School, we are committed to creating spaces where women's voices are not only heard, they're also amplified, respected, and celebrated. Because there's one thing this country needs, is strong and transformative leaders. Hopefully our next president will be a female. To all of you who are attending online, thank you very much for being part of these journeys, and kudos for balancing the usual workday chaos with today's launch. I know multitasking is practically this cohort's superpower, so there are no issues around that. So here's my final message. Remember that you are already leaders. The course is not about teaching you to lead. It is about equipping you to amplify the leadership you already carry within. You are here not just to make a career move or to add a certificate. And if history is any guide, the saying, Watinta Bafazi, Watinti Mpokoto, will run through. To you, our local government warriors, agent of change, and the backbone of transformation in South Africa, let this course get dusted. And just remember that when you finish this course and the world starts calling you to fix everything, don't say I didn't warn you. Thank you for partnering with us on your journey to fabulosity. And we look forward to working with you.
Thank you so much, Prof. Joseph. We are fortunate enough to have men like these in our midst because they understand the importance of our role in this world, and that's very, very important. Now, he also mentioned the main reason why we have them is to also understand the important role that they are playing in our areas and how they appreciate in their important role our roles as well. So, our next speaker, the CEO of LG CETA, Mr. Ineleng Molefe. Please bear with me because this man is quite accomplished. All right. He is an experienced CEO at the LG CETA who has been involved in creating, managing, and leading high-performing teams in addition to developing talent across multiple business areas. He is driven by his determination to succeed in everything he does, a highly articulate, confident, and a persuasive collaborator who can motivate and communicate with stakeholders at various levels to achieve exceptional business performance. Mr. Molete has been steering the LG CETA as the CEO for the past 4 years, with a focus on enhancing and cultivating organizational performance and service delivery. Mr. Molete's innovative strategies developed in collaboration with executives have accelerated processes, strengthened regulatory compliance, international partnership, and much more. Prior to his current role, he held leadership roles in various institutions, which include the Department of Public Works, where he served as the Chief Personnel Officer, the ETDP CETA, where he was the head of department, the Energy and Water CETA, where he was the Chief Operations Officer. Mr. Molete has more than 20 years' experience within the training and development fraternity. In his career journey, he has been accountable for major projects like the War on Leaks implemented by the Department of Water and Sanitation. Throughout his career journey, he has demonstrated the ability to work effectively with stakeholders, the community, and employees through designing and leading strategies and initiatives which resulted in upliftment and enhancement performance. To lead is to empower. To uplift is to transform lives. Mr. Ineleng Molefe, a leader committed to these principles, will share his vision with us. Please join me in welcoming Mr. Molefe to the stage.
Dumelang. Goeiemôre. Hoe gaan dit? Awan. Kan julle in Afrikaans praat nie? In Noordwes there's net twee tale, Setswana en Afrikaans. Huh? Okay. No, thank you very much, Program Director, for giving me an H in my name, Ineleng. She's saying it in Sesotho, but thank you very much. It is my mother's birthday today. She's turning 86 years. And she is a very strong woman who delivered me on time. That's why I respect women. You can ask from the authority that I serve and the executives that I work with and the managers and acting managers that I'm pro-woman because I'm who I am because of a very strong woman of faith. Program Director, I was Priscilla Nzuba, the board member of local government CETA. Prof. Joseph Sekhampu, the director at Northwest Business School. Professor Leon Jackson, the program leader. Ntate Morne van der Berg, the manager executive education. House Josephine Singram, the executive for strategy and planning in local government SETA, the program manager from LG SETA, Mr. Benedict Masopa, who is not here because of he's here to support women. He wants a signature, I must declare. Aus Anne-Marie Prince and Aus Clara. I see also the provincial manager of Northern Cape, who is here to bear testimony also, who was a participant of this program, and she was a coordinator, now she's an acting manager. I must emphasize that. Because we are not just in the business of saying people must study, but not recognize the studying. But most importantly, not putting qualifications, but making sure that you apply yourselves. Probably you've heard, you'll never hear any qualifications in my introduction. It's about what I can do. I was a student of this university. Those who know. But a lot of times in this society, we put qualifications and we assume that you are studying to be rewarded. But the best medicine that you can do is to apply yourself. Then you will be hired. All the officials from Northwest University that I did not mention, Salga officials, SAMU officials, IMATU officials, communities, and all the leaders from various faith denominations. Ara Simola Katapelo, program director. And Rabomme, as and when the going gets tough, we know that it's women who will say Rabili. I hope when we close, we'll correct that Katapelo. Our learners from various organizations, our former learners who participated in the first cohort, all protocol, I hope, is certainly observed now. Distinguished guests, it is my pleasure to be given an opportunity to say a few words at this launch of Northwest Business School for Advanced Leadership Program for Women in Leadership. The local government SETA has once again partnered with Northwest Business School in implementing the short learning program on advanced leadership for women, which aims to empower women and make sure that we give them more strength, more coordination, and more resilience in challenges that were articulated by the Chief Director earlier facing local government sector. In 2022, the LG board approved 100 learners, which was a pilot project, and out of those 100 learners, 77 graduated. So already this cohort is under pressure because the first cohort, which was a pilot, has given us 77%. And we witnessed that in Boksburg, wherein we held a very big graduation ceremony. I hope, Prof, that when this cohort finishes, we will not be stuck in Gauteng, which is known for traffic and potholes, and also safety of our women being under danger. So we hope that there'll be graduations so that we can come and witness all the hours, all the sacrifices that women would have endured. And the board for this year approved 300. I hear us talking about 200. It is 300. And I'm expecting that 300 students, not 270, not 250, because I would not be implementing a board resolution. The first KPI of the CEO is to implement the board resolution. So if and when there's challenges, before we leave here today, Northwest University and the staff members of LGCTA, you want another deadline, we'll give you another deadline. There's no way that the board approves so many numbers and then we don't meet those numbers. I thought I'll hear a round of applause, even virtually. We know that this program is meant to strengthen the local government sector. And for the local government sector to strive, we need government first to lead and give us policy direction. We need municipalities as per Chapter 7 of the Constitution that dictates what municipalities should do. And we need communities where services are happening or not happening. And we need labor also as part of those social partners to make sure that we deliver on the dictates of the local government sector. Therefore, I'm giving you a scope, Prof, and the LGCTA staff, where to look for. There's what committee members that can be recruited. There are NGOs, there are CBOs that can be recruited. Churches that make sure that if there's challenges in our communities, that they always take that leadership of making sure that they correct whatever social ill that the community might be facing and so forth. So we don't have a reason not to have the 300. So this project is meant to make sure that we give you, or you benefit from the 5 key components. 1, we want to promote women's sense of worth. We want to make sure that women have got the right to determine choices. 3, we want women to make sure that they have access to opportunities and resources in the local government. 4, we want women to have power to control their own lives, both within their homes, work, and in their communities. 5, we want women to have ability to influence the direction of social change to create a more just social and economic order nationally and internationally. An extensive body of research shows that when women earn an income and control their earnings, their children are more likely to attend school, their families are healthier, probably their self-worth improves, and their household income grows along with the economy. Mosadi o tshwara thipa ka mo bogaleng, loosely translated that a woman holds a knife by its rough edge or the blade. I believe that this idiom is derived from the courage of a woman. And I've got a simple message for the participants. Number 1, we know what studying means. It simply means that you are not going to attend the social events that you are used to. It means that you are not going to attend church events like you used to. Lona alebo makoti or makoti in training, it means you will not be able to deal with the 3 pots where you are practicing bongwetsi if there's a certificate for that. And the reality is that you are going to have enemies within your household because now you are not able to discharge other activities that I won't mention here. And you are not going to be available for certain social events. that may affect the relationship that you have with your families. But as John Maxwell says, you can either play now, or play later, or you can pay now or play later. Irrespective of your choice, life demands a payment. The payment here is for you to take time to go through your studies, to make sure you submit your assignments on time, to make sure that you participate in group works, and to make sure that you are cordial with your fellow learners. And doing that, tomorrow I can guarantee you that you will be competent at the end of this program, and we'll be celebrating you not far from now. Ladies and gentlemen, today in a month's time we will be observing 16 days of activism for No Violence Against Women and Children campaign, which takes annually from 25th of November to the 10th of December. Women still today must put in double the effort to be recognized and taken seriously in the boardroom. As LGCTA, we say no to gender-based violence and yes to empowering women of our nation. The question isn't who is going to let me, it is who is going to stop me. Close quote by Ayn Rand. This quote challenges the status quo, asserting that nothing can hinder a woman's journey towards leadership and success. So let there be nothing that will hinder your commitment, your focus, and determination to succeed in this program and in life. There is no force more powerful than a woman determined to rise. Bosa Sebeli. In closing, I would like to extend my appreciation first to the Northwest University for inviting LGCTA to be part of this new cohort launch. We are really honored. Thank you to all the participants coming here and those that are on the platforms from all corners of this country for enrolling on this program. I wish you all the best with the late nights, assignments, summative assessments, time away from your social life. But lastly, I want to appreciate the board that led me, for the strategic leadership, and to the LGCTA official that has been working with Northwest University team in ensuring that all processes related to this project have been addressed timeously so that the program can take off. Thank you everyone for your attendance and support to the LGCTA, and we know that together we can do more. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Where's the guy? There you go. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Testing. Can you guys still hear? Ah, there we go. Right. I have heard and I have listened, and I also have taken in the challenge with you. So we are going to do this, right? We're going to study, we are going to pass, we're going to forget all the social dues as the CEO has instructed. So let's forget about the church outings, the weekend aways with the girls for a while. So let's focus on that, okay? So real success stories are the foundation of any program, as they show us the true impact of leadership training. Today, we have the pleasure of hearing firsthand experiences from our esteemed alumni, whose stories remind us of the power of resilience and growth. Empowered women empower other women. When women support each other, incredible things happen. So the first speaker who will give a testimony of their journey into this SLP, I will call upon Ms. Philile Bongwe to the stage. Oh.
Sanmanan. Good morning. Good morning to the provincial leadership, LG CETA, the leadership from the University of Northwest, and the program director and all the participants that are here today, and also protocol observed. I think you guys will have to excuse me because because my English data bundles are depleting as we approach December. And also excuse me for the way ngikhuluma ngakhona as I try to shape up for December. As the program director has indicated, my name is Pili Lebongwe. I'm from the Progressive Women's Movement, a women's organization that is chaired by Minister Angie Motshekga. And fortunately, I was one of those who were, before I got selected, I was rejected by LG CETA because I did not meet some of the requirements. But due with working with Sophie and Prof, Prof did give me an opportunity to say, you need to be part of this training. I believe in you. He didn't know me, but he believed in the work that I've done to ensure that some of the participants from our organization had to be here, because at the end of the day, I had to sign that letter to approve their names to be here. So as much as I had a managerial position, at the end of the day, there were some of the requirements that I could not meet. So firstly, I need to also state this. I was a first-time university learner. The only time that I had been to university, it was through campaigns, you know, in universities, assisting comrades in universities to get access to funding and ensuring that they win their elections in universities. So this time, tabled at 10, I was a learner in university. Thank you for that. One of the first things when we started with our lessons, I needed to ensure, because I did my research with my friends, banality masters, the honors, the doctorate. So when you go in there, what happens, you know? And they're like, brah, the first thing that you need to do, you need to participate 100%, because it also counts. So I made sure when Prof started, Lena, I followed, you know. I used to ask each and every question, whether I felt the question was stupid, in my opinion, but there was no stupid question, or there was no right question, or there was no wrong question. And he really answered everything. He was patient with me, and I actually learned a lot through that. In one of our sessions, because in our group, I was paired with some of my colleagues from other alliance partners, and Prof gave an example. He gave an example from one of the modules that we were focusing on at that time, and I raised my hand and I was like, Prof, your example is going too far. There's a situation in class right now. Let us use this situation as an example. You know, as much as it was tense in class, but I addressed the situation, and Prof intervened. Even after the class, he asked us to stay behind just so he could assist us as colleagues. And after class, we will all go back to work and work together properly. So to the learners of 2025 who have been selected, please do not undermine this selection. Do not, because besides me being rejected, there were some other people who were rejected and who were not afforded this opportunity that I had. But also, let me warn you, this is a warning, and don't be discouraged. There are multiple choice questions, and they will humble you. You will get a 3 out of 50, if not 0. But don't be discouraged. Just put your focus on assignments and exams. And don't forget to participate in class. Participation is important. Also, as I conclude, and in my conclusion, I would like to thank the prof for believing in me and trusting in me. Actually, this is the second opportunity that he's giving me to speak publicly, because the first one I rejected. I was like, Prof, no, I wasn't ready, you know. And also our Sophie, for also, because we bothered you from around this time before we started, because everyone who we had submitted in the organization, they were excited, they were keen to start. If no, but the program started in January. So out of all those, out of the group that was submitted previously, because once you are done with the exams, so the university is going to publish your results, but then got a student number, so you won't know student number somewhat. Even those who had qualified, I made sure I work 2 times more than people who thought, Uguti, no, I can do it. It's a walk in the park, you know. So for me, it was not a walk in the park, because the very same year I was practicing my Makoti duties, you know. So it was just a lot for me to do, but I managed. So if I can do it, nothing is stopping you guys. Thank you so much.
I think I should leave this thing on, because I forget to switch it back on every time I switch it off. Thank you so much, Ms. Pilile. It is truly an honor to be having people such as yourself, because you have a true reflection of what actually happens in the journey. You are not here to come and sugarcoat things. So I like what you have done, and I appreciate that for all the ladies who are going into this journey. So our next testimonial will be from Ms. Priscilla Ntsuba. May I have Ms. Priscilla Ntsuba on the stage, please?
Sanbonani, good morning, everybody. My name is Sis Priscilla Ntsuba from LGCTA and SAMU equally, SAMU, South African Municipal Workers Union. I want to first, acknowledge the opportunity given by the leadership of both LGCTA and the university, and would love to greet you formally. Panzangati, in the name of Jesus. Angithi manje sengibona lokho. Now I think I'm in the pulpit. Greetings, fellow colleagues. Greetings to also the officials of LGCTA. I'm also here to encourage students that are going to participate in this advanced leadership women, women for women. Hey, it was a journey. For me, unlike Upilile, at the time of the intake last year, I was also studying Bachelor of Public Administration at the same time. So it was not an easy journey. Sometimes the assignments, submission date will clash, and I have to make sure that all are submitted at the proper time, and I don't sort of take this one and leave this one behind. I push everything together. So what helped me a lot in terms of sort of trying to multitask, it was what we call polarity management. It helps a lot. It is about embracing and integrating opposing forces rather than choosing between them. So I have to strike a balance between career ambitions and family responsibilities. I also had to strike a balance between confidence and empathy, a balance between interdependence and independence, between logic and instincts, and between personal well-being and supporting others. Because when we are in a group, we ought to support each other, although at some point we become independent. So as I was studying both, or running a race of both the Women in Leadership program and the Bachelor of Public Administration, I managed at least to graduate with Professor Jackson. It was not easy. And 2 weeks ago, I also graduated my Bachelor of Public Administration, and I'm now a graduate of both the programs. It is possible. Once you strike a balance, nothing is impossible when you put your heart and mind to it. The word of God in the book of Nehemiah, I think it's chapter 2. It's in the book of Nehemiah though. It says, Nehemiah managed, and the team managed to build the walls up to this height because they had a mind to work. So if we can adopt that attitude of having a mind to work, nothing will be impossible with us. So as you manage polarities, you'll find strength in your multifaceted identities, embrace complexities, and lead with resilience, compassion, and wisdom. This is a woman's world. We gave birth to it. Now, let's raise it. See you on the graduation day. I'll still be, all of you, I'll still be here to say congratulations to all of you. 300, I'm one of the board members. I'll be here, I'm watching you. So I'll be here to say congratulations to you women and good luck. Please don't take anything for granted. And thank you very much, Program Director.
Thank you so much. Ooh. Thank you very much. Let's pose for a picture. Thank you very much. I really appreciate the wise words. Only women can be able to survive something like that. I promise you, only a woman can be able to survive that. And mind you, this person has a family, has friends, has other responsibilities, and over and above that, she managed to graduate for both of them. So I am taken aback with that, and congratulations once more for the achievement. Now, our final speaker for giving our testimony, we have Ms. Mishka van Niel. May we please have Ms. Mishka on the stage? There she is.
Good morning. Goeiemorgen. Sambonani. That's all that I know so far. That is it. I was told not to rush with this morning's speech. I think because the last time I was afforded the opportunity to represent the LGCTA, I was more nervous and panicky that I just flew through it and then it was over and done with. But I would just like to welcome everyone, all distinguished guests, the faculty members from the university, my employer, LGCTA, and most importantly, all the incredible women that are joining this program. As CEO from the LGCTA mentioned, I'm Mishka van Niel. The time I joined the program, I was a coordinator situated in the head office, which is in Gauteng. And after completing my program, I then became the acting provincial manager for the Northern Cape province. So that was a beautiful opportunity. So I want to start off by today marking an exciting journey, one filled with opportunity and growth and empowerment. As I share my experience with you, I'm filled with pride and excitement. For all women, you are about to embark on a leadership program that is just not only an academic pursuit, but a transformative journey. Each of you brings unique perspective and ambitions and a shared commitment to personal and collective growth. You are here because you have the determination to become the leaders who will shape the future. I stand before you as someone who has walked this path, supported by the LGCTA and the exceptional community at the Northwest University. My journey was definitely filled with challenges because I had to balance the role of being not only a mother, a partner, an employee, and a student. I was actually a student at 3 different institutions by the time I was awarded this. So that's my 3rd institution. But through perseverance and resilience, I discovered my strength and capabilities. So to all the mothers among you, your ability to nurture and inspire while pursuing your education is remarkable. Remember, you are not alone. You have partners and family and friends who believe in your dreams and are rooting for your success. Your sacrifices you make, those late nights of studying after a long day, are actually building your management skills and deepening your commitment to the future. As you dive into this program, know that the world needs strong, compassionate women who can lead now more than ever. You have the potential to embody these qualities to develop the necessary skills to navigate the complexities of leadership. Reflecting on my own personal experience, I can attest to the wealth of knowledge and the practical skills that you gain here. It was a tough one. This program would not only equip you with just theories, but with the tools to effect positive change, lead with integrity, and inspire those around you. So as you embark on this journey, carry with you the lessons that you learn, the connections that you'll make, and the strength that you will gain. Remember that leadership is just not holding a position. It's about making a lasting impact on others and fostering a culture of compassion and integrity in your work environment. So thank you once again to Northwest University and the LGCTA for this incredible opportunity. So embrace this journey, women. So continue to learn, lead, and inspire as you will accomplish amazing things ahead. And I thank you.
Thank you so, so much. Almost fell off the stage. Thank you very, very much. I really appreciate it. The common theme here between these testimonies is that they are not here to lie to you and sell you fake dreams. They are telling you what it is, what it's about, and what it takes. Myself, as I'm sitting there and I'm listening, I'm actually getting goosebumps because I know how it feels as a mother. I know how it feels as a student who has to mix and match and balance and do all of those things. I know how it feels. So it's amazing that you guys managed over and above your challenges, that you managed to succeed. It shows that it is possible. So it is doable. I actually think that I should also join. What do I need to do, Prof, to join? Speaking of Prof, the father of the program, Prof Jackson, born and raised in Potchefstroom, completed his secondary education in Promosa Secondary School. I'm not going to say the year, Prof. In 1984, he put it out there. He holds multiple qualifications, including a CET from Rand College of Education, BA Honors in Industrial Psychology, MBA, a Master's in Industrial Psychology, a PhD from Northwest University, and Tilburg University, so 2 PhDs. He is also a registered industrial psychologist with the HPCSA. So I'm coming for a session, Dr. Prof. It's important. Prof Jackson has supervised MBA and PhD students, authored 54 scientific papers, 3 textbook chapters, wait, there's more, and presented over 60 national and international conference papers. Now you can clap. Yes, yes, yes. He has served on organizing committees for major psychology conferences, as a reviewer for journals, and on various academic committees, including the PhD Selection Committee of the Nelson Mandela University. In 2021, he received an NRF rating for his research contributions. He holds several non-executive director roles and serves on the boards of both private and public entities, such as AfriForte, Potchefstroom Hospital, and the Northwest University Development Corporation. He also leads consultation agencies and has provided organizational analysis for numerous institutions. Prof. Jackson's philosophy is rooted in being helpful, caring, and constructive, and that is true, I know. Aiming to improve everything and everyone he engages with. In every journey, we need dedicated leaders to guide and inspire us. Prof. Leon Jackson has been a champion for this program, ensuring it remains a transformative experience for each participant. Let's welcome Prof. Leon Jackson as he closes today's program.
Not fine, we can just... Is it possible to get the mic of the M? Good morning, everybody. It's indeed a pleasure. I think pleasure is an understatement. I was hoping for the continuation of this program. And initially I thought, I was doubting the impact. Thanks for the former students with their testimonials. I think you give me the assurance to continue with what I'm doing. Ultimately, it is about assisting females to stand their ground. Life in corporate world, private institutions, public institutions, it's a battle. And these environments are being run by males. And if you guys do not have the necessary skills, knowledge, and perhaps most important, attitude, you certainly are not going to win the battle. I'm trying to encourage support for one another. You guys can only win this war if you support one another. Unfortunately, the literature reveals that you also sit with a queen bee effect. Now, the queen bee effect suggests that those that are the top females don't support other females. And this is something that I think that all of us should make an effort to address. MC, I don't see the slides. What I intend to do this morning is to touch on the topic of leadership or women in leadership, but to highlight the facts, the myths, but I'll also look at possible interventions. What can we do at a practical level to assist you guys? So when I referred earlier to you guys supporting one another, and it sounds strange when you refer to females as guys, bear in mind that there's also allies. And unfortunately, we only had male presenters. But thanks for the participants. They brought a different flavor to the stage. You also have allies. So look for these allies in your institutions and make use of them to mobilize the rest of you. I really want to continue with my presentation, but it seems I have a problem with this. It was. So just a minute. Hallo, Herr Bravo, weet je wat? Ik het die content. Vandaag nog oprecht. Of anders? Ik heb een soort device. We're just having a few hiccups with the technology. But I might as well also share this use this opportunity to share with you my experiences with participants in the previous program. It is like that Pilile. She was asking a lot of questions. She even took it so far to bring me into a fight that I have to negotiate. She even goes so far as to ask whether our questions were stupid questions. And I have to put that is to say, there's no irrelevant question. There's always somebody that's sitting to want or wanting to get more information about a certain topic. And if you don't ask the questions, it will never be, the answers to it will never be clear. But there's something else that I've noticed about those testimonials. You could see that there's an increase in the level of confidence. And it's important to remember this phrase or this word confidence. I'm coming back to it. One of them were referring to asking for what you need. There's also in the literature a lot of reference to the fact that females do not ask. And that is one of the reasons why they are not in these positions. Now, perhaps we don't understand the role that cultural norms plays in our behavior at home, but also at work. Let me give you a practical example, CEO. Imagine a world where males do not approach females, but females approach males. society will have different ideas about this particular female. But you know what's the advantage? They sit with what they want. They sit with what they want, not what's being imposed on them. Now I can imagine if you're at a function, Director Sekampo, if you're at a function and no female bothers you, how you might be feeling. All that I'm trying to say is that society is of such a nature that they prescribe to us how we should behave. And what they do, they use societal norms. How do they enforce these societal norms on us? They do it through socialization. They keep on repeating what is the ideal to youngsters. I have a twin in my house now, they're most probably about 18 months. And I notice how they imitate what they see. And the exciting part about it is they can identify with their gender group because it's a son and a daughter. You can see exactly how the son imitates what males are doing and how the daughter is doing what females are doing. The other day she was taking, there was a toilet roll and she took the tissue and she put the tissue right around here. Now we have somebody that's assisting us at home and this lady is snuffing. So this lady will frequently use the tissue, but something else. When she's bored, she grabs a broom. There's something else. When she don't know what to do, she grabs a cloth and start to wash the floor. So unintentionally, what we do on a daily basis is transmitted to them, and they start to perceive that as, this is how I should behave in society. Now back to the question of females that do not ask for what they deserve. The literature also suggests that males are more likely to ask for things, and they are also feel entitled to getting it, even if they don't qualify. Females, on the other hand, will try and make sure that they meet all the requirements, as well as additional requirements that's not even stated, before they apply. But there's something else that prevents them from applying. Because these institutions are run by males, they will be the first to know about the position. In most cases, they will draft the advertisement. And in some cases, this advertisement is subjectively drafted to meet the requirement of another male. They are more comfortable with their own, and I think it's because we were not schooled. We were not socialized to deal with females in a different fashion. Something else, and the participants of last year will attest to it. I emphasize the issue of self-esteem. Self-esteem refers to the amount of value that you attach to it. It's part and parcel of your self-concept. And there's actually two parts to it. One of it is your beliefs and assumptions that you are equipped to deal with the challenges that you are facing. That's one. And in one of the stuff that I will be dealing with, also speak about leadership self-efficacy. The other part of the self-concept is your self-esteem. That is the value that you attach to yourself. So the more success you achieve with tasks and challenges on your way, the higher your own value grows. I also use this exercise in the MBA Leadership module, where I ask students to give a value to themselves. So first and most, think about it. And if you have the guts, commit yourself to that value and write it down somewhere. My third instruction is, can we have a volunteer to share with us that value? And once I ask that particular question, you see how I'm losing eye contact. I'm losing eye contact because they don't want me to ask them to reveal their value. And before I can get anyone to reveal any value, because I don't think that's fair, I then suggested that I don't want to know what's that value, as long as you know what that value is. As long as you are comfortable with the price that you attach to yourself. And you know the problem with not revealing your value in public is because you're afraid that you might overestimate yourself. And that is something that males like to do. On the contrary, you're also afraid that you might underestimate yourself. Just imagine you are the volunteer, you raise, and you say, no, I'm 200 rand worth. And the one sitting next to you, look at their price, it's 150. They might ask themselves, why should I then value myself so low? Maybe I need to add. Or you might have overemphasized your price and then realize, hey, the other chap was saying X, Y, Z. So maybe I should bring down my own. So a lot of these things that I'm saying now is part and parcel of the interaction between males and females and society in general. And nowadays we need to go one step further. Because as far as gender are concerned, we need to include the other as well. So that complicates matters a bit, but it's part and parcel of what is happening in front of us. And we need to deal with this. But before I continue, let me acknowledge the presence of the CEO of the LGCTA, board members of the LGCTA, representatives from the LGCTA, representatives from the Exco of firms, if they are present, that's Faculty of Economics and Management Sciences, Exco of the Northwest Business School, academia, colleagues, the online audience, present here, in person, but perhaps most important, those that are online. Just bear in mind that you are the most important guest of this occasion. This launch is about you. Look at it as a welcoming ceremony. We know what happens when the groom brings the bride home. Then normally there's a big party. This is in order to make you feel at home. Welcome at your new home, the Northwest Business School. When I Googled the past few days images of leaders, I just put in on Firefox, just give me images of leaders. And the picture that, or the images that are revealed, this is just a sample. And I think all of you will agree that there's something about these images. It over-represent a particular gender. However, as the days proceed, I realize maybe with this thing of artificial intelligence and machine learning, they realize that I do a lot of searches on females and females' roles. I start to see a different narrative. I start to see images of females that are leading groups. And the question that I'm asking is whether you know these ladies. And the reason why some of you don't know them, irrespective of their impact in society, is because the media don't give attention to females. But like I've said, the picture is changing. So who are these ladies? These ladies, as from number 4, represent the wealthiest females in this country. I'm not emphasizing the top 3. I think you all will perhaps know Wendy Ackerman, the wife of Ackerman that owns Pick n Pay. But all of the others did it from scratch. And the reason why I'm showing you this is to demonstrate that it can be done. When you do ask on the internet, but give me examples of those that are inspirational, not only wealthy, but those that are inspirational, we start to see this picture. And I think most of them are known to us, notwithstanding the role of Nkosazana Zuma, but also the previous public protector. But then on the other side, you can see that you can also be inspirational even if you're not in the political space, because all of the others are in the public space through media. Now, if you have a cell phone or your cell phone with you, I want you to scan this code. You scan the code and let's go to the question. A father and his son are involved in an accident. The father dies on the spot and the son is rushed to the hospital. The son is wheeled into the operation room and the surgeon that should be operating suggests, hang on, I can't operate on this boy. From an ethical perspective, it's an incorrect statement. Because if you are there, you are of service to all of those that need your service. Maybe we need then to ask the question, who is the surgeon? So after you have scanned the QR code, you will be requested to submit 3 suggestions about who you think the surgeon is. So we allow a minute for you to do that. Don't worry about spelling. Just suggest to us who you think. And I'm also talking to those of you that are online. Suggest to us who you think is the surgeon. I think there's possibilities for 3 answers. Try all 3. If you only can answer 1, it's also fine. For the guys up there, if you can quickly just switch from the presentation to Firefox, you will see that there's a tab for Mentimeter. And before you show that on the screen, just have a look at our responses. If we can get 50% of the audience to respond to it, it's fine. Do you see it? So remove the presentation. It's Leon, L-E-O-N. Right? No, Leon is not the surgeon. I'm talking to the guys up there. And then go to Firefox. Firefox should be open. I think there's 3 windows. Go to the one where you see Mentimeter. And you guys will all be amazed about the reactions. In real time, if I had my computer in front of me, I would have shortened the time for the responses. Now you've got an opportunity to rethink your first responses. But I'm hoping to show you quickly the diverse views of who we think this, Janice. So just quit the presentation. Go to Mentimeter. I think it's the second or third in one of the Firefox pages that are open. The first, the second or the third from the right. Do you guys have it? Okay. If you have it, can you show the audience what the responses was? So just present it on the screen. And this exercise is purely to demonstrate our mindset. Our mindset about the roles of males and females. Do you guys have it? I'm sorry about this. So you guys can actually, in Mentimeter, once you're there, you guys can actually ask for the responses and have a look at what people are saying. The response with the biggest font is the most popular response. I can't wait to see. I've already tested this at home. And even they that completed this assignment was also amazed by the responses. You guys have it? All right. Okay. 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 Again, we just have a little glitch with technology. We should be able to continue right now. But while we're waiting for them, they'll inform us. Let's continue. So you guys can switch. I think the audience will, at this stage, know the responses. I'm just anxious to see the responses. But let's continue with the presentation, because I think that will also become clear now. So if you guys can, yep, and you can then start that one. Just click on the icon for play in the YouTube video, and she will also explain what we have just done. Yeah, just click on play. Okay, so let them. Okay, let's not waste too much time with Mentimeter. Let's continue with the presentation. If you guys can just click on the play button. By the way, the answer to the riddle was mother. The answer to the riddle was mother. And the reason why majority went for father is we relate certain roles to certain gender groups. We're not familiar to the idea that it's females that operate on patients. We're only aware of the fact that males are operating. But that's not strange. If we call a taxi right now and a female is driving the taxi, we'll be asking ourselves a number of questions. Because the role, the occupational role, is not linked to females. Could you guys get hold of this presentation? Just play it. Maybe just give us some sound.
So I have a riddle for you. Let's see if you can solve it. It's not a super funny riddle, so bear with me, okay? A father and son are in a horrible car crash, and tragically, the dad dies. The son is rushed to the hospital. As he's wheeled into the operating room, the surgeon looks down and says, "Stop. I can't operate on this boy. He is my son." How can this be? Exactly. The surgeon was his mother. Isn't that interesting? If you got the riddle right, you are among very, very tiny few. In a group of 200-ish undergrad students at Boston University, only 14% got the riddle right. Out of a group of youth aged 7 to 17, 15% got the riddle right. I got the riddle wrong in a women's studies class as a feminist when I was at the University of Michigan. Why? Because the mind models that we have about doctors and surgeons is that they are male. And these mind models, these things that we use to sort the barrage of information that come through our senses, they're neither good nor bad, they just are. But they're really powerful. So powerful that some of the answers that people gave included the dad, maybe he was a robot in the car, or maybe the dad was actually a father or a priest. Isn't that great? I mean, it's just wild. Even students whose mothers worked outside of the home got the riddle wrong. Even students whose mothers were doctors got the riddle wrong. That is the power of mind models. And a riddle that I have been pondering since I was a young woman in high school.
I think we can skip the cheers. And I think there's central messages that comes through from this particular video. The one thing is, you can do something about it. If you are fearful, we take note. Imagine telling me that I should not be fearful in a war-torn country. If you're in a hostile environment, chances are likely that you will be fearing. But then you need to fall back onto your values. We will certainly get back to those issues a little bit later. It seems like it's picking up my computer. Okay. So let's have a look at how the world responds to this issue of representation. Here we're looking at global bodies, bodies such as the World Bank. And what you see with the World Bank, they never had a female president. If you look at the United Nations, there's quite a number of females in leadership positions in a number of sectors. But the amazing thing about this particular slide, if you guys can just remove, I can't do it from this side. The amazing thing about this slide is the bottom one, the World Food Program. This is an institution that's supposed to look after nutrition of the needy right across the world. They've never been led by a female. However, at the practical level, who is looking after cooking at home? It's females. Who's making sure that there are meals? It's females. And in most cases, they actually go out, find the food, and make sure that we eat. The point that I'm trying to make with this, or illustrate with this particular slide, is that if we wait for them to make a change, it's never going to happen. While they are in power, they will make sure that they have those around them that think like them, that act like them, that value the same things. So even global institutions, they might say that we are aware of the problem. What are they doing about the problem? Yeah, certain slides of me will demonstrate. There certainly are some efforts. But if we continue on the pace that we are continuing, it will certainly take us a few centuries to get to a point where we have parity. Perhaps at this point I need to mention that I have one module in the leadership MBA class. The model deals, the study unit deals with gender and leadership. And when I started raising the issue of representation, one student, now you can imagine what the profile of MBAs looks like. One student raised his hand, and when I gave him a chance to speak, he asked me, why do you guys force the issue? Now, let me not say how I responded, but the few words that I do remember that I've said was, how dare you? Because females, they are our mothers, they are our sisters, they are our cousins, they are our daughters, they are our grandchildren. How dare you ask me, why do we force the matter, where the facts are right in front of you? But on a lighter note, it seems like we do make progress. If you look at countries with female heads of states, noticeably Germany, New Zealand, and have a look at the names of the countries because I'm coming back to them. Norway, Iceland, Bangladesh, Denmark, Finland. Again, I emphasize, have a look at the names of the countries. Liberia, the first female president on the whole continent. Chile, and the United Kingdom. Now, the majority of you are in local government, and it should be exciting to look at what representation at the parliamentary level looks like globally. Again, it's about the trend. There's an upward trend, but if you look at the years it takes to move from 30% the highest to where we now currently are with the highest, not just reaching 50%. And if my figures are correct, I think females are about 52, 53% of the total world population. That suggests that this graph should be at least a bit higher. For those of you that have the slides in front of you, will notice that we, from sub-Saharan Africa, are doing fairly well, comparatively speaking, to other countries or regions when it comes to politics and female representation. Why is this thing of representation and discrimination so important? It is important because over the years we have seen quite a number of significant lawsuits. And even though these people didn't win these cases, they draw the attention to the phenomena that needs global attention. I don't want to go too deep into the lawsuits. You guys can read about them yourself. Again, the question of representation or gender parity. This slide suggests that if there is parity, then we should be close to 1. Again, here you need to ask yourself, where is sub-Saharan Africa? We are making progress, but we are not there. This next one speaks to the same thing. It speaks about overall representation. There we're looking at figures such as 42% at the global level. However, if you look at different areas of management and leadership within the institution, you see a significant drop when it comes to C-suite. In other words, where the perks are, where the decisions are being made. Just above 25%. If you look at women really being in leadership positions according to sectors, now don't forget the traditional roles of females. You will see that the sector that's best represented is the hospitality. Now, hospitality has to do with looking after people, serving people, and treating people nicely. Maybe therefore. But what does other sources say? Engineering 14%, accounting 50%, construction 10%, finance 54%, higher education 46%, legal 38%, mining and exploration 12%. How are we going to win this war? One way to win this war is to look at educational attainment. But even if we look at educational attainment as a source to strengthen our representation, the numbers tells a different story. And there are various reasons why these numbers look as they are. We do acknowledge that quite a lot of progress have been made in as far as primary and secondary education are concerned. It's compulsory for all children. And you will see later on other indices that South Africa fares very well when it comes to primary and secondary education. However, when it comes to tertiary education, we only have about 7.7% of the total population. We do have the institutions. We do have policies from government. We have funding. And you start to ask yourself the question, how are we going to change this graph? And one way to change this graph is to give preference to females applying for qualifications. Not only applying for qualifications, females that are struggling financially. Perhaps additional assistance should be given to females so that they can access tertiary education. Because we need to turn this graph around. If ever we want to become industrialized, we need informed individuals to take informed decisions. And you and I will agree that the lower our educational attainment, the lower our confidence, the less likely we will be to apply for these positions. So what do we need to do? We need to encourage the numbers of females that enter into these institutions. Look at the United States, nearly 40%. In other words, if 10 of us were here, 4 of them will hold a degree. If 5 of us were here, 2 of them will hold a degree. I don't want even to elaborate on our 7%. What about PhDs and master degrees? We know that the numbers of admission and graduations of females in master degrees and PhDs are increasing. But we are nowhere near to where we want to. And again, I want to emphasize that these things are not just going to happen. They need to be a force. And you'll remember that we celebrated Women's Day the other day, and it was all about females demonstrating their dissatisfaction with the situation. So it's about mobilization, starting at the community level, starting at the street level, starting at a departmental level in your institutions. It's about mobilization. But the other trend that I've noticed, if you put 4 or 5 women together in a department, lunchtime you'll be called to come and assist with an argument. So we need to look beyond our differences. We need to look for similarities. And in this case, only one thing will bring us together. And that is the threat of not being represented. So once we have something to focus on, all of the other things becomes irrelevant. I always say, when the goal is clear, all the efforts, all the other things that you put in are irrelevant, because ultimately it's about achieving the goal. Now, you can imagine, if we don't have the right skills and we are not equipped to deal with situations, because you are marginalized at home as well, not only at home, but also in the community, because there are cultural values that suggest how you should behave. You can imagine, because the literature suggests that there's a link between income and your living conditions. Income is again related, according to the literature, to education. So the lower our level of educational attainment, the lower our standard of living will be. Maybe if you guys doubt about what I'm talking about, this will make it clear to you. And in most cases, it's the females that suffer. It's the females that needs to look after washing the clothes, getting something for the kids to eat. And the question I'm asking myself, why should the black child always be asking? When will we arrive at the point where we provide? And I know the answer. We will arrive at the position where we can provide if we have our mothers in charge. You just have to look at households without fathers, and then you'll realize the plight of females. It is about whether you can support the standard of living. Nobody wants to live like this, but unfortunately this is our reality. Now, maybe we need to ask, which countries treats females the worst and which ones treat them the best? Which ones discriminate the most and which one discriminate the least? Maybe a regional grouping will give us an idea of what is happening, and I'll show you a map on the same issue once I'm done with this one. I've asked you earlier to look at the names of the countries that are led by females. And they are definitely represented in the top 5. It's Iceland, Sweden, Norway, Denmark, Finland, Netherlands, Belgium. You group them together, you'll see they are also the countries where the living conditions of females are the best. And if you take a regional perspective, you will see they represent sort of like the west of Europe and the Scandinavian countries. However, you also see New Zealand and Australia. And by the way, when people are immigrating to New Zealand and Australia, and quite a number of South Africans are there, this is precisely the reason why they are leaving. Why are they leaving? They are leaving because regions in this world, or this global village, there are certain regions that are not conducive for females to survive. Saudi Arabia, Iran, Yemen, Afghanistan, Pakistan, Sudan. I can understand the Sudans and the South Sudans where there's war. I can understand the Afghanistans. But you know, there's countries where females were, up until recently, were not even allowed to drive a car. Saudi Arabia. There's countries where females are not allowed to be in possession of a book. Now, if we say education is the key or the tool to take us to a different level. Can you imagine how long will it take those ladies there to get ahead? Noticeably, the inclusion of a few African countries. And I can guarantee you, if we extend this list to the top 50, that the majority of those countries at the bottom will be African countries. Is it because Africans are bad? Is it because Muslim nations are bad? I don't think so. I think it lies in the values of the community. The values prescribe what treatment you will receive in that particular environment. So maybe we need to ask ourselves, but what does the profile of a typical female in sub-Saharan Africa look like? There's a number of cultures, and we know that society expects from them to attend to these traditions, norms, and conventions. Those of you that are married knows about all of the rituals that lies behind getting married. The bad part in certain countries, they don't even go through those rituals. You'll arrive at home and you'll be told that you're living with X, Y, and Z because you've been sold. Because we have arranged marriages. You cannot get married, or you cannot get into a relationship with X, Y, and Z because your partner for the future is already being determined. We know that females in sub-Saharan Africa are responsible for looking after the family, making sure that they eat, and they are also the organizers of community organizations. If we know that this is what they are doing on a daily basis, why don't we have them representing communities at a global level, such as the World Food Organization? Because they're the experts. We know that they are most likely to be involved in education, but we also know that they suffer extremely for gender inequalities. Now, remember, I'm speaking about our region. They are normally responsible for looking after the herd of cattle. They are responsible, and you'll see later, they are responsible for agricultural activities, and although it is subsistence, and I can imagine why they feel it is their responsibility, because they are responsible for feeding the children. But there's one thing with this slide that I want you guys to have a look at, and that is females from this region do have a significant amount of resilience and strength. So irrespective of their conditions, they have the ability to bounce back. It's seldom that you do not see a smile on the face of a lady from sub-Saharan Africa. In other words, irrespective of. And that makes us wonder whether our complaints, are we complaining with a loaf of bread under our arms? But let me show you the face rather. This is what females in sub-Saharan Africa look like. Unfortunately, the face of poverty is still black and is still female. Let me not go into cultural roles because we're all familiar with that. Have a look at what the world looks like in as far as treating women fairly. If we are treating our people fairly, then our colors of our map, or where we are, should be blue. Thanks for a number of organizations that are surveying all of these conditions on a yearly basis. If you need to know more about the standing of females in certain areas, you can have a look at some of these indices. It will give you a wonderful picture and a comprehensive picture of the position of females. You can also scan this code and have a look at how representation in different regions have changed over time. But the striking point about this one is that certain regions remain behind. South Africa is faring fairly well when it comes to these indices. And I'm not going to go into the detail. For this one, that's the Global Gender Gap World Economic Forum report. We're about 18. And the reason why we are 18 is precisely about access to primary and secondary education. But there's also other institutions that provide us with information about the standing of female. Again, here you can scan that code and also get that information on. I'm not going to dwell too much on it. I want to end off by highlighting relevant or recent research results on what females are experiencing on a daily basis in the institution. So remember what we did here. We asked them, please reveal to us what's the reason why you are so poorly represented. That's at the entry level. We also had an additional question that refers to, but once you break through this glass ceiling, what are you experiencing while being there? And the sample include executives from mining houses, and let me not elaborate too much. And what the results reveal is that the road to becoming a leader in organizations is full of potholes. Now, as South Africans, I don't have to explain to you guys what potholes are and what they can do to our tires and our cars, and sometimes our lives. And these potholes include at the individual level. And there again, you see the things that we were talking about earlier. They perceive that their fellow females don't have confidence. They think that they don't have self-esteem, that they are not assertive, that there's work-life balance issues that prevent them from. So these are all individual stuff that prevent females from. Have a look at under individual, the third one, females not applying for positions. In society, females in general don't ask. They will be given presents. And whatever the content of the present is will be determined by the male that gives the present. Females in general are being approached by males to start with a relationship. I still maintain that I'd like to see a life where we reverse that one. Because at least you then have control over what you sit with. Have a look at organizational barriers. Glass ceiling. It's a typical hostile environment that's being portrayed here. Can you now understand the fear? Can you now understand why people don't feel that they are worthy? Can you now understand why they don't have a voice? Can you now understand that the environment in which we're functioning is not welcoming? That means that we need to attend to, we call that in industrial psych, we call it our organizational culture. Culture refers to in the organization to how we do things around here. If we don't start changing how we do things around here, all of the other things on the individual side is not going to change. And let's stop blaming female and say that they do not have self-esteem. They do not ask for what they want. They do not have confidence. Let's stop that. Because what we see in them, it's ultimately a result of the environment in which they function. So why do we blame them? Why don't we look at the culture? Because we, as leaders that runs the institution, are responsible for that culture. We need to reward the right behavior in our institutions so that people can behave in the right fashion. But now if it's not happening, it means that we are at fault. So what do? We point the finger to it. So the problem must be with them. If you compare our findings with other findings, you will see the same thing. Initially, we started by thinking that, hang on, there's a illusional ceiling, a glass that I cannot break through. Or alternatively, the ground is sticky, and that is why I cannot move. But later on, they realized that it seems like positions are being opened. But where do we open these positions for females? In soft positions. In HR, in external relations and marketing. Once we get to the big jobs, production, finance, it's males that operate. They determine budget. They determine spending. They determine the distribution of resources. And that's the phenomena that I want you to be aware of. The queen bee. Once you're there, hold the hands of the others. Pick them up. I once saw a saying in somewhere, I can't remember where, that suggests that don't look down on others unless you are helping them up. Let us realize that our strengths lie within our numbers. That's the basic principle of unionism. Our strength lies in our numbers. We might have differences, but we have an objective. Let's have the objective in front of us and let's emphasize the objective. Now, I could have taken you guys through what we can do and the sequence of events, but this is just to demonstrate. This is just to demonstrate that don't go and look for the problem in females, because the problem is not in females. The problem lies in those that are running our institutions. I think what's important for those guys that are the majority of the participants on the online platform, we are aware now of the challenges. So how do we intend to address these problems in this program? I intend to address these problems by first and foremost focusing on self-awareness. And self-awareness has to do with you need to know yourself first before you can start interacting with others. Our next step is to give you confidence to function with others. The first one, intrapersonal. The second one, interpersonal. This is where we give you skills to deal with others, and these others necessarily include males. We look at stuff such as assertiveness. Assertiveness means not being rude, but suggesting to others that I am also present, that I also have a view, and that my view also counts. And that's nothing so disappointing to get in an argument with somebody that you report to who thinks that only their views matters. I always emphasize in this program that we all have opinions. Don't turn your opinion into a fact unless it's proven. Don't turn your opinion into a fact unless you can prove it. So don't force your preferences down my throat, because you as individuals have the right to select what's best for you. Then we go into conflict management. What's important here is that you know what causes conflict. But here again, I give you the tools to deal with conflict. Communication. The first thing that I'm saying when this class starts or this module starts is if there is a problem in any relation, even in your personal relationship, go and look for the answers in communication. Normally when we speak past one another, that's where the problem starts, even in our organizations. And then perhaps more focused on what we are doing here today is how do we change? How do we change what we are experiencing? And lastly, but not least, is dealing with differences. I forgot to say that when we deal with communication, I try to demonstrate you the difference between how we as males communicate and how you as females communicate. Let me just give you an example before I close. Are you aware of the fact that males interrupt females more frequently than males interrupting females? Or the other round. Males more frequently interrupt females when they talk, and females don't do that. Even if they do it, they are less successful. Now, if you are aware of that, then once they interrupt, you will call them to us and say, hang on, I also have a view. So the focus of this discussion, the focus of this program, is to give you tools to deal with the daily interaction. And please don't perceive them as the enemy. They're not the enemy. They are just born like that. They are just raised like that. But whatever you have learned can be unlearned. And I hope I give you the skills and knowledge to implement various methods to bring about change. And remember, when you talk about change, there will be resistance to change. I actually go with you through a whole model that you can use to deal with resistance to change. I normally talk a lot, but I'm reminded that my time is up. I finally just want to thank you all for your presence. Thank you for the funding from the LGCTA to make this possible. And that emphasized the fact of using education, skills, knowledge, and abilities to determine your own destination. Your destination do not necessarily have to be determined by your partner or your father for that matter. You have the right as an individual to be heard. Let's make sure that we support one another and let's go out there and make a difference. And the last lesson, remember that leadership was never about you. It was about you supporting those that report to you. So leadership is not about a position. It's a set of principles. It's about your actions. Everything of the best for the program, and we will certainly see one another in the program. Please prepare a few questions so that I can also answer them. I thank you all.
Right. Thank you so much, Prof. I think my mic has died. It's probably hungry. Oh my word. Leave it, we will do it. Testing. There we go. All right, I wanted to officially, the gift. There you go.
I've noted that all the other speakers got gifts, and that's why
we will never make that mistake.
No, it's an entitlement attitude. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Prof. Thank you very, very much. Yes, this is our father for the program, and we make sure that his voice is heard. One thing that I've noticed, I took note of, was the content in the program, and it looked very well thought of. It included a whole lot of modules in there that I personally would love to have attributes and to learn more about and how to do it. And one of the things that he also mentioned was the fact that we shy away as women often. When we are in public spheres, we find ourselves underestimating ourselves. And because of that, it made me think of that very famous poem by Marianne Williamson, who was also quoted in the inauguration speech for Nelson Mandela, where it said, "Our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. It is our light, not our darkness, that most frightens us. We ask ourselves, who am I to be brilliant, to be gorgeous, to be talented, to be fabulous? Actually, who are you not to be? You are a child of God. You are playing small does not serve the world. There is nothing enlightening about shrinking so that other people won't feel unsure around you. We were born to make manifest the glory of God that is within us. It is not just in some of us, it is in every one of us. As we let our own light shine, we consciously give other people permission to do the same. As we are liberated from our own fear, our presence automatically liberates others. So if you take nothing from this day, take that with you. You are allowed to shine because you are great, you are brilliant, you are talented, and you are fabulous. And it's very important that you remember that. Now, without wasting any more time, because we are hungry, we are going to have a vote of thanks from Dr. Ntsediseng Khumalo. And this is adios from me. Thank you. Oh, thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, baby.
Dumelang. Good afternoon. What an incredible session we have had today. What an empowering session that we have had today. I stand here with a great gratitude that I want to convey to all of you who have joined us today, here in person, and also those who are joining us online. It has been an incredible morning that we have had so far, and we want to thank all our participants who have come here, and also we want to thank this incredible organization, LG CETA, for empowering our women. They say, if you empower a woman, you are empowering the nation. Can we have a round of applause for that? Today marks a very important day as we open this program for women in leadership. We strongly believe in the competences and the strengths that women have all over the world. And as the business school, we are also committed to shaping executive minds in Africa, and we see you as our executives currently and also in the future, and we are very invested in empowering you so that you can excel in all the areas that you're going to occupy in the future. I would like to extend our deepest appreciation, especially to all our distinguished guests. We also want to thank the leadership from the LG CETA, all the executives present here. Thank you very much for honoring this event. I also want to thank the leadership from the business school, Northwest Business School, for ensuring that we are able to interact with the industry and we are able to bridge the gap between industry and academics. I also want to thank the organizing team. This place looks beautiful. It's incredible. Thank you so much for the organizing team. I also want to thank the program manager for the incredible work that she has done. I also want to acknowledge all the speakers for the inspiring words of encouragement that they have shared. In closing, I just want to say to all the participants, especially the women here, this is the beginning of the incredible things to come. In all the spaces that you're going to occupy, make sure that you shine the light as a woman, and remember what the word woman stands for. If we can briefly go through the acronym, let's start with the W. What does it stand for? It stands for a winner. As a woman, you are a winner in your own right. You are wonderfully made. You are a mother, a daughter, a leader, etc. Let's come to O. It stands for outstanding. As a woman, you have outstanding capabilities. You are an organizer. You are optimistic in everything that you want to do and to achieve. Let's go for M. It stands for marvelous. You are marvelous. You are beautiful. You are capable. You are strong. And that's what you have to believe and tell yourself every day. Let's come to the second last. A, it means you are adorable. You are adaptable. And with your faith, you can move mountains. You can make everything possible, the impossible to be possible. And lastly, the N. It stands for nicest, most incredible gift of God. Every day, Tell yourself those words, manifest those in your daily life. And once again, I want to thank everybody who has made this event an incredible success. And let us make this program, for those who have enrolled, a resounding success. Let us have a meaningful experience from this journey and embrace it. I thank you all.
Very much, Doc, for the vote of thanks. Ladies and gentlemen, the food is served through those doors. You can go and serve yourself, and then you come back and you eat. Before you go, Doctor, you have to say a prayer. Don't forget. It was asked from leadership. Yes, so that the lunch is going to be served through those doors. You serve yourself and you come back. We have lunch here. All our participants, and I repeat, only the participants can come and collect their gifts as soon as they are done. One more important thing, if you want to succeed in this program, you need to make a best friend out of Mrs. Sophia Mulife. Make her your best friend, okay? And thank you, Sophia, for everything that you have done so far. Right, let's enjoy.
Okay, can we bow our heads shortly for a brief prayer? Our dear Father in the heavens, we call upon you today. We ask you to bless this day that we have had, and we are thankful for the success that we have had with this event. May you bless each one of us in here. You know all our trials and tribulations. May you empower us to conquer anything that comes across us in life. As we disperse and go through our different directions, may you protect each one of us. We also pray for the food that is going to be offered to us. May it nourish and nurture our bodies. We thank you for all that you have done for us, and we ask for your blessings upon each one of us. In the name of your Son and our King and our Redeemer, Jesus Christ, amen.